Good morning, my beautiful intuitive butterflies. Good Monday morning and welcome to this January the 2nd reading. Monday, January the 2nd, 2023, the first weekly reading of this new year. You are most welcome here. And I'm going to be making a couple of changes. You know, we have to change and adapt over time. I'm still not going to be editing. Not who I am. What you see is what you get. I am going to be eliminating the part of the reading where I cleanse and clear the decks. I have done that already, and I will continue to do that going forward. Briefly, for those of you who are new here, I come on every single Monday, and I do 3 separate readings. Each reading consists of what your dominant energy will be, the dominant energy influencing you this week, as well as a shadow energy. Something that is bubbling just below the surface, something that you need to be made aware of, that kind of energy. The way that I get you to select which reading is yours is I ask you to go into a very light meditative state. And then I present you with 3 rocks, gems, or trinkets. And I ask you to intuitively decide which one of the rocks, gems, or trinkets that you are drawn towards, and that will be your reading for the week. I do, however, encourage people, if you are, immediately drawn towards one of the rocks, gems, or trinkets, but there's a part of you going, oh, but maybe I like that one too. By all means, watch both readings, because it's not uncommon because we're doing a general reading and because it affects so many people and because we're talking about general energies, energies that can influence us, it's not uncommon for at least 2 of the weekly readings to have similar themes. Okay, let's get started. So allow yourself to go into a light meditative state. You may choose to close your eyes or leave them open with a gentle gaze. Take a couple of deep breaths. Inhale deeply and consciously. Pay attention to the rise of your chest. And as you exhale, pay attention to the relaxation that you feel in your body. And do this 2 more times. Inhale, paying close attention to your body. And exhale and relax. And one last time. Inhale deeply. Exhale and relax. And as you do, if you had your eyes closed, please reopen your eyes. And I'm going to present the 3 stones for this week. The first one is a piece of raw amethyst. So if you are intuitively drawn towards the raw amethyst, I'll be pulling cards for you from deck number 1 this week. The Moonstone necklace. If you are intuitively drawn towards this Moonstone necklace, I will be pulling cards for you from deck number 2. And the third one this week is this blue Lapis Lazuli ball. So if you are intuitively drawn towards the Lapis Lazuli, I'll be pulling cards for you from deck number 3. Okay, let's get started. Those of you who selected the amethyst, the raw chunk of amethyst, I will be pulling cards for you from the Animal Tarot. This is my oldest deck. Doesn't come out to play very often anymore, but it's still quite accurate nonetheless. All right. For those that selected the Amethyst this week, is the dominant energy. All right, we've got cards flying everywhere. Ooh, dominant energy this week. The Knight of Wands, the Komodo Dragon, strong survival instincts and impulses. Okay. This is an interesting card to come out at the very beginning of a year. We have two more cards that also flipped over at the same time. Now, normally I don't read 3 cards for a weekly energetic reading, but here we go. You've got the Komodo Dragon, which is the Knight of Wands. You've got the Ten of Wands, which is the tortoise, movement through pressures. And you've got the Eight of Cups, which is the ant, searching for and working for greater good. Now, all 3 of these, it's interesting to note. Well, first of all, these 2 are known as the ancients. So the wands in this animal deck are known as the ancients. It is also the sign of fire. These are actionable cards. The wands mean action. It's fire. Okay. You are being asked to pay attention to your survival instincts this week. That may be that you are being put under some pressure. There may be what I'm picking up for you intuitively, those of you that selected the Amethyst this week, what I'm picking up intuitively is that it's the brand new year and you are feeling pressured to make choices, to perhaps implement new routines and practices. There's a lot of pressure on people to do New Year's resolutions. And honestly, the vast majority of New Year's resolutions fail. Why? Because for the vast majority of people, this is not the right time of year to start something new. If we look at cycles, and I am going to get into this, I think it's important right now for you guys who selected this stone to hear. We as humans live on a planet that is filled with cycles, that has a moon that also cycles. We have oceans that cycle with the coming and going of the tides. Everything about our lives are cycles, including our seasons: spring, summer, winter, fall. The bottom line is that January 1st, for those who live in the Northern Hemisphere, it's the middle of winter. For those who live in the Southern Hemisphere, it's the middle of summer. Neither one of those timings is right for starting something new. And if you do choose to start something new, a big new project, a big new diet, a big new change in life in general, it's probably not going to work out for the best. The best time to be starting something new is your spring, the spring equinox. And it doesn't matter whether you live in the northern hemisphere or the southern hemisphere, your spring equinox is the absolute best time to be starting something new. That's not to say that the middle of winter right now is not a good time to be setting intentions, to be thinking about what you want to bring into your life. Okay. One of my favorite sayings is forewarned is forearmed. Okay. That means prepare. Prepare yourself mentally, prepare yourself physically, prepare yourself psychologically. If your intention this year is to get healthier, okay, that's one of the most common ones. Let's go there. If your intention is to get into shape and be more physically fit, start up here right now. That doesn't mean that you should sit on the couch tonight and eat a bag of potato chips along with a gallon of chip dip, okay? But when we start preparing our minds ahead of time to quit smoking, to eat less, if we gear up knowing that we're going to change our job this year, When the change actually comes, it's less of a slap on the face. Do you see what I'm saying? So what I'm picking up from this card in particular, strong survival skills, instincts, and impulses, is that for a lot of you, you're feeling like a caged animal right now. You're feeling like you have to have this survival instinct because you're being thrust into a change. And right now is not the right time of the year for change. Movement through pressures. Again, if you're feeling like your back is against the wall, it feels like you're moving through sludge. If you watch the way that a tortoise walks, it's like it's walking through sludge. So, and this card here, the ant card. The ant card is all about hard work. Okay, searching and working for the greater good. The ant is one of the hardest working creatures on the entire planet. So, with what I was intuitively feeling about these two cards, for those of you that selected deck number 1, that you're kind of feeling like you've got your back against the wall. You're feeling like, oh God, I have to make changes. Oh, it's so overwhelming. Yes, this card is a confirmation that there is work involved. But like I said, the first work that needs to go into any change is the work up here. Mentally and psychologically and emotionally preparing yourself for that change. I speak from experience here. I am an ex-smoker. Now, granted, I quit smoking, dare I say, like 30 years ago. It was a really long time ago that I quit smoking. Was it easy? No. Did I quit on January the 1st? No. My anniversary for quitting smoking is February 27th. Why is it February 27th? Because I spent from January 1st through to February 27th mentally preparing myself for giving up the cigarettes, for giving up that addiction and that attachment. It allowed me time to be able to prepare my friends and family for the shift that I was going to go through. And by that time, by February 27th, I had mentally prepared enough that I had already started to cut down on the number of cigarettes that I was smoking. That's what I'm talking about with this, is there is still work involved. Like I said, I'm not saying go out and sit on the couch tonight and eat a gallon of Ben and Jerry's. There's work involved. Begin that work. But any change that you intend to implement, whether that be a big move, a job change, a more healthful lifestyle, there's a lot of people out there, because of the changes and shifts that are happening in 2023, who are intending to prep. You cannot prep for the future, and I use those in quotes. You cannot prep in a week. And if you try that, you are going to feel so overwhelmed. You're going to feel like you're walking through sludge. You are going to feel like, oh my God, I have to survive this. And you're going to be so caught up in that, you're not going to be able to actually be doing the work that needs to be done. Okay. Your shadow energy this week, this makes a lot of sense. Your shadow energy this week is the otter, creativity, and skill. And what this card is telling me is that because of this sense of overwhelm and this sense that there's a lot of work to be done, you are not being creative right now. And you're not implementing your skills with the skill that you actually have. This is your shadow energy. Like I said, it's something that is hidden below the surface. It's something that is not being implemented this week, but needs to be. You need to be aware of this. When you're in overwhelm, creativity goes out the door. And yet, in order to do all of the things that I mentioned, move, prep, get healthy, any of those things, you have to use some creativity in your life. If you don't have creativity, then you can't implement new things. Okay, so for those of you, just to recap really quickly, because I got a little wordy there, for those of you that selected the amethyst this week, you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed. You're feeling almost like a caged animal with your back up against the wall about something. You do need to start the mental and emotional work towards achieving your goals, but you don't have to achieve your goals in their entirety this week. You just need to be doing the work up here. And in order to do this work, you need to get back in touch with your creativity. And I want to point out as well that the otter is a very playful animal. So get in touch with your play. Get in touch with your playful side. Okay? All right. Those of you who selected this Moonstone necklace, I will be pulling cards for you from the Osho Zen Tarot. All right, we need the dominant energy for those who selected this week. Oh, there's a good card for this week. All right. Those of you who selected this lovely Moonstone necklace. It's one of my favorite pieces, by the way, for meditation. I find that I hold on to this Moonstone and it's like the universe opens up. Okay, enough about me. This is your dominant energy this week, the energy of letting go. This is the 8 of Cups in the traditional tarot. This is a really, really good card for January the 2nd. Brand new year, time to let go of things. Now, if you're looking at me and going, well, I'm trying to let go of a bad habit. I'm trying to let go of, some extra poundage around the middle, whatever that may be. If you immediately jump to, New Year's resolution, when you saw this card, I encourage you to go and watch the reading for deck number 1 and the Amethyst. And a lot of what I'm going to say is going to be similar, almost identical, honestly. Okay. Your dominant energy this week is letting go. Okay. But some of you right now are going, yeah, but I've already made up my mind to let go and it's the second day and I'm struggling with it. Bottom line is, right now is a really, really bad time to be starting a New Year's resolution. The energies are not in alignment for you, whether you live in the northern hemisphere and it's the middle of winter, or whether you live in the southern hemisphere and it's the middle of summer right now. We as humans who need to be in alignment with the cycles of our moon and our earth, right now is a bad time to be starting New Year's resolutions. And that's one of the reasons why many of them fail. But right now is a good time to be preparing. Okay, so let go of the attachment to things. The other thing that's coming up for me, for those of you that selected deck number 2, the other thing that's coming up for me is not only this attachment to, oh my God, my New Year's resolution is going to fail because blah, 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 blah. Let go of that. Watch the first reading. It will make sense that this ties into the first reading as well. But the other thing that I am picking up for those of you that selected deck number 2 is that for some of you, there is this need to hold on to the past, need to hold on to something that happened last year. for a lot of you, what I'm picking up is that there's a need to hold on to something that happened over the holidays, whether that be with family, friends, boyfriend, husband, whatever. There was potentially, what I'm picking up is this friction energy. And if there was a disagreement between you and a family member over the holidays, between you and a boyfriend or girlfriend, anything like this, this card is encouraging you to let it go. We're on the second day of a brand new year. Water off a duck's back. Now, I'm not saying, and here comes disclaimers, yada, yada, yada. I'm not saying, obviously, if you are in some kind of abusive relationship, if you're in a relationship where it's passive aggressive, it's on again, off again all the time, all of this kind of thing. I'm not saying, oh, just let it go and let the person waltz back into your life so that in 2 weeks you can be in this uptight state again. That's not what I'm saying. If that is the dynamic that you have, let go of the relationship. Don't just let go of water off of duck's back, okay? There are different degrees of letting go. If you're uptight because someone said something to you over the holidays that rubbed you the wrong way, let that go. But in the other example that I just gave, where you may have a partner or a spouse who is treating you poorly, I'm not saying let that go. That's up to you, how you want to handle that. Obviously, free will. I'm not giving you solid 100% advice. I'm just a psychic on the internet, okay? But there are certain things that we need to let go of, and that is your dominant energy this week. Those of you that selected deck number 2 in the Moonstone. You're carrying around a bunch of baggage right now, and you got to let go of some stuff. Let go of that which is easy to let go of. And then do a little bit of a deeper dive into some of the stuff that needs that deeper dive about whether you're going to let go or not. But this card is a card of, you know, trying to make your life easier, simplify. Okay. Let's look at your shadow energy. Your shadow energy this week is the outsider. Okay. This makes sense in the example that I gave, where for some of you, you may have got together with family and friends over the holidays. And let's face it, the last 3 years have been a little bit uptight with regards to people having differences of opinions. I don't think I need to go into any further details about that. I think that you can read into it. But if there was differences of opinions about how to handle all of what's happened over the last 3 years, and you're still carrying around that conversation and the heaviness because someone else said or did something over the holidays of, you should have done this, you should have done that, let that go. Because what that's doing is making you feel like an outsider. It's making you feel like you're not part of society, you're not part of the family, you're not part of the group of friends anymore. This is what is being hidden from you, and this is what's causing your stress. Let go of the hurts and don't feel like an outsider. Because you know what? Even if in your little group of friends or your family, they made a decision to go one way, and you're kind of standing over here, know that you're not alone. There are an awful lot of people over here as well that made this decision. Okay? What else can I say? Yeah. This card's the equivalent of the 5 of Pentacles in the traditional tarot. And, you know, this card is about not feeling alone in the world, because you're really not. At times it can feel as though you're standing behind a locked gate and looking out at the world. And that's kind of the energy that's being, hidden from you this week, but you're really not alone. Remember that. That for every one person that decides to do one thing, there are other people that decided to do the opposite. Okay? Let's move into number 3, the Lapis Lazuli ball. All right, now I have to set this down carefully because it has a tendency to roll off my desk. And given that my floors are all hard surfaces, I don't want it to get broken. Okay. Dominant energy this week for those who selected deck number 3. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards that have come out. I'm not reading all 7 cards. That's not the intention here. I do have one that had popped up. Is there a second card that is intended to come out? Okay. For those of you that selected the Lapis Lazuli ball this week, your dominant energy is valiant courage. Take action with passion. Okay, I like this action card coming up. This card is giving you the encouragement to go out and act upon your passion this week. You do have a second card that came out, the Gates of Triumph. Success expands in your life this week. Okay. Reading these 2 cards together tells me that those of you who selected the Lapis Lazuli ball have a really, really exciting week ahead, a week of successes. I sense that for some of you, you put something out there at the end of 2022 with regards to wanting to move. And I am feeling that this has to do with work or career, that, excuse me, you put something out there saying, I want to make this positive change in my life. Now, whether that is a full-on job or career change, or whether that is just a shift within your current organization, whatever the case may be, this is really, really encouraging this week. Okay. Now, this is telling me that whatever it is that's coming your way this week, you do still need to take action on it. Okay. It's not something that is landing in your lap and all of a sudden you're going to be successful. But it is telling me that there is an opportunity that is coming your way, but it is going to take courage on your part as well as action for you to be able to move forward and actually have the success. Okay, this was the second card that came out, which means that you need to be courageous initially. Maybe this means making the first move, introducing yourself to somebody. That takes a lot of courage. Okay. And that is also a form of taking action. Okay. Maybe it's not that you put it out there in 2022 or at the end of 2022. Maybe it's that you're putting it out there now, that you've made this big choice or decision in your life. And so you are acting with this courage now to maybe dust off the resume. I am picking up that for those of you that selected deck number 3, these cards are relating to job or career this week. And that's your dominant energy. It's kind of the dominant place where your head is right now, is work, career, job, whatever name you want to put on it. Let's have a look at the bottom of the deck and see what your shadow energy is this week. Oh, shadow energy is embracing enthusiasm, shout to the heavens with happiness. Okay. Now this coming up in your shadow energy is telling me that This is lacking enthusiasm. Okay, I turned these cards over. I got all excited. I got enthusiastic. Woohoo, we're going to act with some courage this week. We're going to have some success coming in. Everything's going to be good. And then you guys went and rained on my parade, and in your shadow energy, you have embracing enthusiasm, which is an indication that you're not being very enthusiastic this week. So really what this card is telling me is that in order to have these, you need to be more enthusiastic about what's going on. You need to be sharing, shout to the heavens. You need to be sharing the excitement that you're feeling on the inside. Don't keep it all to yourself. Be enthusiastic. If, like I said, if there's an introduction that needs to be made in order for this move ahead, if you're brushing off your resume, then be enthusiastic about the introduction. Be enthusiastic about brushing off your resume. Talk to friends and family and say, hey, I'm planning on doing this. Okay. Don't let this be a shadow this week. Get excited about what's going on. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Just a reminder to everyone that there is only 1 week left to get your 13 card 2023 reading. It is a special. I will put a link in the description. It is a limited time offer. So you only have about another week or 10 days to be able to book your 13 card reading with me. It is a special. It's supposed to be 1 hour. I can tell you I have not had a 1 hour reading yet. Every single reading has gone minimum 1 hour and 15 minutes. And you're getting all of that for $90 Canadian for my European and UK friends. Wow, that is a bargain for you guys because the Canadian dollar is worth so much less than your currencies. But either way, that is my special that is currently running, and it's limited time. Thank you so much for joining me this week, and we will see you next week. Have a beautiful week, everyone.